Hey, we've got Dane Braslett with us today. Dane's been a broker with Link Capital for several years, but hey, it's great to have you with us, Dane. And hey, just to get started out, maybe you could give us a little bit of a background on yourself and how you got in the business, and maybe tell us a little bit about your company.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. So about 8 years ago, me and my father started this side of the business. He's been in the residential side for 30 plus years. We moved over to the investment side. We still do residential as well. Um, Basically had an idea saying, hey, I think the investment loans are going to start picking up. We can capitalize on it. Nobody around here is really doing it. So let's give it a shot. I left college, started the company with him, and it's kind of just been a wild ride from there. It's been fun. Can't complain. It's very interesting seeing all the projects. Basically, being able to offer a lot of different programs that a lot of people don't offer, and being a resource to a lot of clients to have good investments. Some we have 30, 40 deals a year with. I mean, I get to see everything that they're doing. It's awesome.
So, I mean, it's really impressive what you've been able to do in a fairly short period of time. You know, you built this business from the ground up, and so tell me, how did you kind of come across Link, and what made you to decide to start working with us and sending deals our way?
I think I had actually one of your account reps reach out to me 6, 7 years ago, um, regarding because I was doing flips then as well, so we are doing both the lending and the flips. I think they called us seeing if we had any need for funds for future projects, and that kind of put us into a relationship with doing the broker side. And you guys also funded some of our deals for our personal projects. So it really came together like that, and it's been working with each other ever since.
So, Dane, you know, you're one of those unique people that we work with who not only comes to us as a broker, but you also borrow money for your own projects. But I'm kind of curious as to what was it about Link Capital that stood out, you know, in your process of deciding, you know, you've got relationships with a lot of different lenders out there. So what made Link stand out to you as it relates to who you recommend to connect your borrowers with?
So obviously, competitive terms are definitely the main thing. I mean, especially nowadays, there's a lot more lenders out there that people are getting terms from. So being competitive is definitely the main feature that is needed. You guys are very competitive with your terms. You also are very flexible, which I mean, a lot of these companies have a very strict credit box where you guys can, not saying bend the rules a little bit, but you can work with somebody to make the situation work. You guys are very good at, I'm trying to say, uh, very good at making things work out that makes sense versus something on paper like, hey, no, we're not going to do this. You guys look into it a little bit more. You guys understand it. You're more flexible.
Hey, Dane, well, it's good to hear you mention that because we do pride ourselves in the ability to come up with creative solutions and you know, figure out ways to make deals work for our borrowers and brokers. So, but hey, do you remember any specific deals or scenarios that we were able to help with and come up with a creative solution?
Yeah, so actually, our old neighbor, when I was growing up, there was this bank building that went for auction, and she opened up Earth Angels for dementia because her husband passed away, and he died probably 7 years ago, I would say, 6 or 7. And she found this bank. She had a new calling for life. She wanted to get back to caregivers who were taking care of her husband. She was there firsthand, seeing everything. And I mean, that was probably a loan that nobody else would really look at or do because it's a bank conversion into an office with renovation funds involved. So you guys stepped in, you helped out. She was gratefully appreciated of it. So are we, and ended up working very well for everybody involved.
You know, Dane, that's great to hear you talk about that. And you know, on the you know, one of our primary goals is to make sure that our borrowers have a great experience. And maybe walk us through, you know, your experience and kind of how that relates to our draw process and how we've been able to work with you from that standpoint.
It's nice because everybody that we deal with is always the same people that we deal with from the past deal. So it's not like I send a deal to Vince and then it goes to somebody else in processing, and then it goes to somebody else at closing that I've never dealt with before. It's very close knit team that I've dealt with the same person every single time, so we know how each other work, and it makes it very simple for us because we talk, we're on a good basis there, and we understand. Hey, I know that she needs this. I'll step in. I'll help out. Versus somebody random who's going to get back to you maybe once every 2 days. You guys are very quick with getting back to people, communicating, working out problems. It's a very streamlined process that you guys have.
Well, Dane, we really appreciate your time visiting with us. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about your experience here with Link Capital?
No, I've had great experiences from the borrower side and the broker side. I mean, it's like I said, it's very simple to work with you guys. You're very understanding. You know what you're doing. You know what investments are good and what bad, and you really make very good decisions and work with borrowers versus, hey, just checking the box. Okay, this happens there. I mean, modification, it's easy to work through. You can try to figure that out instead of being like, no, we don't do that. We're going to look at options and try to figure ways to make this work for the client, because obviously them paying off the loan and having a successful deal and then returning back to you, that goes a long ways versus just telling them no.
Well, Dane, I'll tell you this has been a very insightful conversation we've had with you today, and really appreciate you taking the time out to share with us your observations about Link Capital, and we look forward to a long and prosperous relationship with you.
I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.